Get it out of the fucking way.
Living to you from Old Heart Radio.
There's some cool shit coming up. Let's hope.
Who's excited?
Oh, be prepared. Oh, I also found. Hold on. We need to put some like Matinee Edition.
Welcome to Matinee
Edition. Maybe you heard it's the Matinee Edition. I don't know what episode we're on. It's like episode 5.
Something
maybe.
like that.
Something like that. We'll call
the week of shit. What week? I jumped way too hard on that. The week of the 7th of July through the 13th.
Woo.
Woo-wee.
No, I actually found a decent soundboard finally.
Yeah, buddy.
Hooray! It's definitely a slew of like random stuff. We got Comic-Con coming up, so like literally like the leaks that we've like up until probably like for the next 2 weeks, we're probably not going to hear shit about anything,
and then it's going to be kicking off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like everything we have is basically like pre-Comic-Con.
Plus, we got some stuff built up from our short break that we just took as well.
But first off, I just want to definitely just dive into DC stuff. So DC actually, the DCEU.
Which one do you like first, the good or the bad?
Yeah, the good.
If it's the bad, you want the DC news first.
Yeah, and well, you know,
that's a
you
bit
might as well
cynical.
just rip the Band-Aid off. That's how I always think about it. You know, it's just like
what movies are about to be confirmed and then canceled in a few weeks,
taken away from you. Well, it's kind of like lately it's been about like what they have confirmed and stuck to for me. So like they have that Birds of Prey movie that they're actually working on.
Yeah, they released the like costume test footage.
Yeah, but I've heard rumors though, like so Ewan McGregor has been cast as the Black Mask, which is the main
cool
villain.
Casting.
Cool
I'm a big
casting.
Ewan McGregor guy.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. Did it? He's a decent Obi-Wan. I'll give him
Obi-Wan McGregor.
Obi-Wan McGregor. But so he's cast as Black Mask. There's this huge rumor going around that Black Mask is like a very outwardly gay villain.
Shit.
Yeah.
I saw this in passing and I didn't really think much about it.
Yeah, I just want to throw it out there at you. What
my immediate inkling is they should probably do an outwardly gay hero first.
I agree.
Because this is gonna piss people off.
Vilifying.
Can we do Alpha Flight first? Like
no, seriously.
Yeah, like I feel like there has to be a better way to introduce the first
like
outwardly
screen
like gay person of immense power.
Yeah.
Because like even Avengers Endgame had that very, very slight controversy of Anthony Russo being he's actually a gay man in real life, and he portrayed a gay character that was unnamed at Captain America's therapy session.
But would that be that was you were saying this once? It was considered the first gay character.
The outwardly gay character in the MCU. Yeah. If you ignore Netflix stuff, which
fair enough.
Even Kevin Feige is at this point.
Even Kevin Feige is.
But
it's good. We get it.
It's good. We're done. Jessica Jones season 3 is out. Okay, it's strike it from the timeline. It's
like a Terminator fucking movie.
Yeah, I know. But there was a bit of a shit show about that because it wasn't addressed firmly enough.
Okay. Like if they would have embraced it more.
If they would have embraced it more, but then at the same time, it was there because it was supposed to be sort of a throwaway of like Captain America is still Captain America. He's trying to help people, make people feel better about this huge problem.
Russo being in the scene was just kind of like this, like it was meant to be this sort of like secret,
he has been a cameo. He's made a cameo in every movie that they've directed.
Fair enough.
In The Winter Soldier, he was a doctor. In Civil War, he was Bucky's supposed to be therapist that got murdered.
But was he a gay doctor?
I don't fucking know that. These
are the questions that we need answered.
He is a gay man in real life, so I'm just going to jump to the assumption that he's playing a gay doctor.
Fair enough. I mean, it would be a good casting.
In my personal opinion,
always want
the best
authenticity.
Let's throw it out there. Let's be as pro as possible. Yeah. But then the ultimate form of acceptance, in my opinion, is what Captain America did in that scene. barely fucking address it and treat him like he's a normal person.
Absolutely equal, dude. Like that's kind of my whole thing too. It's
we will get a gay superhero.
We will, and they will definitely make a point of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But I do not think, of all people, DC is gonna fuck this up.
DC's gonna fuck it up, dude. That's what I was thinking the moment I read it. I was like, no shame on Obi-Wan McGregor, but like, but like no joke. Like I think it's just a bad move to make a major villain who, like, presumably, and this is again one of those like rumors about this Birds of Prey movie, is that like he's like one of the best villains that they've come up with yet, which isn't saying much because we're talking about Justice
Jared
League,
Leto,
fucking Steppenwolf, and the Jared Leto,
other
fucking
large monsters.
Yeah, no, like it's been all
Ares.
Like, it's been literally all cave trolls. For the most part, like
cave trolls and a dude with a fucking huge mustache. That's the God of War. Like,
true.
And it came out of nowhere at the end of Wonder Woman.
It's like,
and who's next in the slate? They're doing Wonder Woman 85,
84.
Yeah. With
it has
resident comedian from Ghostbusters. Kristen Wiig is playing Cheetah.
She's playing Cheetah, but there's also the rumor of another villain played by he's a guy in a fucking Kingsman. Not the young guy. He was like the American Secret Service agent.
I know who you're talking about.
What's his fucking name? I'm blanking on it.
Oberyn.
Yeah.
Oberyn Martell.
So supposedly Oberyn Martell. People will get it though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
people get that reference.
Wait,
no shame on the actor. We just don't remember your name.
Who plays Oberyn?
So Oberyn is rumored to be. Fuck! I lost my train of thought. Damn it. He's rumored to be Maxwell Lord in the 1984 movie, which supposedly has like a slight augmentation on his like
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Also, the lead in The Mandalorian coming up on Disney.
Absolutely.
Disney Plus.
I haven't actually checked out any like little tidbits or.
They haven't even released a trailer.
Okay,
we're deviating. It's gonna be like a properly adult show,
which sounds fucking awesome. But
back to DC.
So Maxwell, he's playing Maxwell Lord, which is like
I have no idea who he is.
He basically has telepathic powers, but
cool.
in this movie, he's supposedly going to have like wish granting powers, which is a little.
Ooh.
But it's also the reason why Steve Trevor's back, apparently.
Oh, right. Okay, interesting.
So yeah,
interesting.
I guess I don't know. Like,
what a cop out.
Yeah, I'm like definitely like on the fence about that movie. I hope they don't fuck up a sequel to Wonder Woman. But the only other thing I wanted to touch on DC wise was the Joker movie. So,
which is apparently not based on any comics?
No.
Is that where you were going with this?
Well, no, because that should have been obvious from going into it. If nobody realized that based on the trailers, then you're a fucking dummy. But obviously they're going with a more like just out there approach to the creation of a villain.
Yeah.
And
which I think, if anything, it works for the Joker because there's never been an established backstory, really.
You've never had an actual backstory to him. So it's always
shit. At one point, there were 3 of them.
No, exactly. Well, and that's kind of it. Like there's always like these different takes on it. And in the Dark Knight, like his Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, kind of makes a pass at that because every single time he like is threatening somebody or telling them a story about his scars, it's different. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a thing about that character.
The most agreed upon theory with that Joker was that he was like a defunct like veteran.
Yeah. And
that he was like he had crazy PTSD.
I also read a rumor that Joaquin Phoenix's character is going to be playing supposedly a bastard of Thomas Wayne.
You mentioned this to me. I actually like that idea.
I do too. And there's kind of hints in the trailers.
And and Thomas Wayne's being portrayed as like this Donald Trump-esque.
Yeah, kind of just like an asshole.
Running for mayor.
So it's kind of interesting. But the director, the most interesting thing about this movie, aside from just the fact that it looks just cool as fuck, is that the director Todd Phillips is he's gone on record recently and saying that that he's tried to pitch Warner Brothers to do like a completely different DC style like movie universe, where it's like kind of what they're doing with the comics, where they have this right now. They have this DC Black Label comic.
Yes, and I remember seeing this.
It's these.
That's the one where Batman showed his dick, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, yes.
Kind of.
that wasn't met very well. But there's a variety of stories. Like there's like a story coming out called like about the questions, like the deaths of Vic Sage. But there's also like, but he pitched basically that they do the same thing with their movies. So they have it would be called DC Black, and it's like all these different takes on just a variety of characters.
It's like the
lower budget, less CGI, more more
Nolan-esque.
Yeah, well, like, and he's talking about like his pitch was talking about actually like roping in like legitimate like visionary directors to come
making
in
it
and
make a collection of like indie movies,
make films out of these fucking characters these characters. You know what I mean? Like
stuff that could win Oscars.
Yeah, stuff that won't necessarily go up and directly compete with Marvel. Because Marvel has their big budget thing, but it's a different style of movie. Maybe
eventually make it so that way DC's reputation in film is less so trying to compete with Marvel and more so like an auteur's take to superhero film.
Yeah, kind of, and maybe with like a slightly darker image to it, like their comic line had like all through the 90s and all through like the fucking 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was always looked at as the darker version of the two big comic companies.
Yeah, you know? And not to say there's not lighter hearted stuff to find in it.
Oh, definitely not.
But
and not to say that there's not dark shit in fucking Marvel.
I mean,
Marvel gets dark too.
Marvel gets fucking dark. Demon in a bottle. They're
shout out.
They're no, but what I immediately think of is sort of what was set up with James Gunn's recent project Brightburn. I haven't watched it, but supposedly
I really want to. We should check it out.
We should check it out. I'm really bad with horror movies. I guess how it sets up at the end of that, it's like it's a bunch of news reports from a conspiracy theory website pointing out a bunch of these children, and one of them is like a girl who's like killing people with like a whip type thing.
Oh, okay. So
and it's all and it's very, very obviously all the DC heroes, but like villains.
Oh, fucking wild, dude. See?
And except they're all kids,
which is even more insane.
Yeah, which is even more insane. And like seeing the stuff from the Red Band trailers of Brightburn, it's like holy fuck. Yeah, dude, there's some crazy shit.
Yeah, it looked gnarly, and I feel bad I missed it in theaters. It would have been a cool experience, but it does look fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I mean from what I'd heard, it wasn't bad. Yeah. Like, and it's just an interesting way of thinking of it. And if there is room, because I mean like it's an off-brand DC film. The trailers even use the same text and the same branding as Man of Steel.
Yeah. Was it
and the same music?
Was it? Do you know what company produced it? Was it a Bad Robot company?
No.
Okay.
It was James Gunn's.
Yeah, you were
stuff.
Right. You just mentioned that.
I think it was. I don't think it was Universal or anything.
No.
So. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I would love to see that shit.
And I would love to see that sort of smaller, because that's also what I heard about it. It's much more smaller scale. Mm-hmm. It's nothing too crazy.
Yeah,
and I would like to see that with some of those movies, because like Marvel sometimes gets fucking huge, and DC's really been trying to do that too.
DC's trying to be like they're trying to get as big as Marvel without the context whatsoever.
Yeah, you can't have the lineup of the heroes charging headfirst into Thanos' army in movie number 3, right?
No, dude, like that's why Justice League did not work.
Yeah, everybody in the fucking world has seen Avengers Endgame at this point.
Oh,
so I can't say it's a spoiler anymore saying that when everyone comes back, Captain America grabs Mjolnir and rushes Thanos, and is an epic moment.
It is epic. It's every character that has been a part of these fucking movies, basically.
Even off to the corner, you can see Benedict Wong's fat ass trying to keep up with Captain America.
They slid in the fucking They slid in the Howard the Duck, man.
Howard the Duck's in the background.
They possibly even joked about fitting in some of those other movies.
Of all people, they even brought back Korg and Meek, and you could find them fighting in that scene.
It's awesome, but
it's a testament to the work they put in.
But DC did not do that.
I think DC, because they have, I think, a more critically acclaimed history in comics than Marvel does. Yeah. Like, there's some really good Marvel comics. Yeah. But I feel like there's twice as many really good DC.
Yeah. But Superman and Batman are still more famous
than any Marvel
comic.
You can make a slight argument for Spider-Man.
You could.
You can make a slight argument for Iron Man now.
Definitely.
But still.
But Superman.
How did they And it just pisses me off still. How did they fuck this up?
Dude, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like, how do you fuck up?
We go on this tangent every episode.
The most popular character in the world. Anyway, so that, I mean, like I said, DC's like, it sounds like they're trying to make moves. Unfortunately, the only tie that I'll bring into like the actual like timeline of this episode in terms of Comic-Con, to close out the whole DC thing, they're not showing up at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They're not participating. Warner Brothers is not participating in a panel. The only thing that they are showing up on is Arrowverse. The Arrowverse shows are showing up.
Well, because that's going to be HBO now.
Is it really?
Well, HBO Max.
Oh,
it's taking all the stuff from the CW too.
I did not realize.
Yeah. So I think that's why.
Yeah, that probably is why, honestly. But
so, on the note, we have some marvelous things to talk about.
Yeah, some marvelous things to talk about.
Segway! Amen. So I've got some stuff here. Number one, I got two little things to bring up.
Yeah.
One of them slightly smaller than the other. Annihilation is set to be the next big storyline. This is an article from We Got It Covered. It was posted about a month ago. I found this a week ago. It says that insiders have confirmed Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and even Captain Britain getting movies.
Captain Britain?
I mean, fuck it. They did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, totally. I mean, Captain Britain's a cool character, I think, in his own regard.
Yeah. And Nova as well, to set up a more somebody a lot more related to Annihilation Conquest.
Definitely.
And even bringing up that Annihilus might make a first appearance sooner than we expect. And that they're going to be going back towards the model they did to start everything off, where they're going to reestablish films that are and reestablish characters that might have had a larger shift.
Okay.
And, well, like, as an example, Spider-Man with Spider-Man Far From Home, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
They had to address a lot with that character. He was in a very different place mentally than he was after Endgame.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're going to be addressing that in the upcoming movies with all the characters by themselves, and probably in the TV shows as well.
I mean, they absolutely. I mean, they definitely have to, because like you can't just like brush that off with a couple of lines being like, all right, and now like we're here.
We're here.
You know, it will take like a little bit of like, okay, you know, this character is here 5 years later, mental fucking space, like all these things.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good way of actually giving your characters a chance to build with more emotion, more depth.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. I mean, like, although, okay, so the Annihilation thing,
I think it's going to start off.
What movie do you think will like kind of start hinting at?
So I think they're going to start hinting at it in the next space-based Guardians movie, maybe a Captain Marvel film.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah.
And but maybe make it like a post-credit scene. You
Definitely.
know,
Like that secondary.
or something just barely popping up, something that's not really present just yet. You know, like at the end of Age of Ultron, Thanos getting the glove, and being like, "I'll do it myself," and then he sat on his ass for 5 movies. But I'm pretty confident that's how it's going to go. And then once they get up to the next, like, phase 6 or whatever, the equivalent amount of time that's passed, or maybe they'll do it a bit faster because we'll know it's coming to some regard.
Fair enough.
Then they'll spend an entire phase where it's like, this shit's coming. Here's all of our different characters, where they're at right now, and how they're going to come back together.
Nice. Oh man.
Which also, it brings up in this that they are still debating an Ant-Man 3, which brings up the news that Paul Rudd asked fans to petition for another Ant-Man film because he loves playing that character.
Did he
and
really?
Nothing's confirmed. Which I sort of love that. I actually really liked Ant-Man. I like Paul Rudd's portrayal, but the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't very solid in my opinion. It was fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that good.
It was fun, but they don't really have a problem making fun movies.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of it. So
I think it was great because it came right after Infinity War, which is the perfect time to have a stupid, fun Marvel movie.
Definitely. I mean, like, kind of a little palate cleanser, you
know?
Don't worry. Not everything's dead.
Not
exactly. Serious.
Ant-Man's still around.
Yeah.
But, that's some exciting news. I think Annihilation Conquest is a great way to eventually progress, and it makes sense. As much as I would love Galactus to be the next thing, that would be pulling the Fantastic Four out way too early.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that I think it makes more sense for them to maybe do a Fantastic Four movie sooner than later. and then
I think
establish them as characters, and then have Galactus come like 3 movies into them.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is, I mean, like Galactus himself.
Whatever, himself. I think it's him.
Galactus, either way, is like a pretty, as cool of a character as it is, it's a pretty like one-dimensional threat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's not much to it.
It's really easy to just be like, okay, we need to do this, and we'll defeat Galactus.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool seeing Galactus' origin, because I think he has the weirdest but one of the coolest origins.
Dude, his origins, they've recently, like, in the last like handful of years, they've really expanded on Galactus. Yeah. But I remember back
for those who don't know, he is like the last remnant of the universe that existed before ours. Mm-hmm. So his civilization was destroyed by the Big Crunch,
and he basically was cocooned in his like shuttle ship in a form of like energy from all of that
and then the universe exploded around him, and he went into like hibernation until somebody woke him up and he became Galactus.
And then boom, world devourer. It's actually really cool. I remember that like back in the day when I was a kid, there's this magazine called Wizard Magazine.
Never heard of it.
And it was such a fucking cool, dude. You would have loved it. You would have subscribed to it. It was such a fucking cool magazine. But like they ran a list of like all these stories that never got published, and that was one of them. Like from back in the day.
That'd be cool, man. I'd be down for that.
Well, they pulled it out. Like eventually, they would like let it be known like this is Galactus' origin.
Yeah.
But like that used to be like a very like kind of brushed under thing.
Yeah.
But Annihilation, what's cool about it as a story would be like the fact that you can hit it from multiple fronts, and that's what I mean by like, unlike Galactus, where it'd be like a really like, okay, Galactus is at Earth, boom, he's trying to kill us. It like that would be the focus. Annihilation, it could happen on multiple like planet. It could be happening across like the galaxy.
Yeah.
And Annihilation, there's, I don't know. You have the chance to like really like break the characters all off into teams again, like they did with the
sort of like the Ultimates and that sort of stuff.
I mean, yeah, it could be it has way more potential than just like a singular threat kind of angle. I think that's why Galactus is cool, but not probably going to be a good fit for the movies, honestly.
Yeah, maybe eventually.
I think maybe like at least like nodding to the fact that he exists is something that they need to do.
Maybe he'd be a better Fantastic Four movie villain.
Yeah, I
think they'd have to outwit him rather than have everybody fight him.
Well, exactly, and that's what they used to do anyway. Like, hey, Reed Richards got the ultimate nullifier again.
Yeah,
oh, no.
It's like remember I always think of like maybe they bring like some living Celestials into the picture, and that'd be a cool like Avengers level threat.
Oh, totally.
Like the Dark Celestials or something like that.
It'd be fucking wild to bring this. I mean, like I love that they were. Anyway, we're getting off on tangents.
Yeah. I want to bring up 1 or 2 more small chunks of Marvel news.
Okay. Yeah,
so casting for the Winter Soldier and Falcon show.
Yeah.
Which I really think should be renamed to Captain America and the White Wolf. But just throw it out there. Bucky's not the Winter Soldier anymore.
Well, but
and Falcon's Captain America.
But are they actually playing that though? Like, is
Sam, I think the story is going to be about Sam learning to accept the role and Bucky adjusting to modern society, because Bucky's been on the run the entire time. He's been conscious, pretty much.
And Bucky can like help him because Bucky's been Steve's best friend through all thick and thin, so he can kind of like help with the Captain America stuff.
But casting, which I'm very excited for after hearing this. Daniel Bruhl is coming back as Zemo.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
That is super random. Like that's awesome though.
And what perfect villain for those 2 characters.
Definitely.
Because the Winter Soldier and Falcon are not crazy powerful characters.
No.
So it makes total sense they'd pair them with somebody like Zemo.
Yeah. Like not like a super powered being, but like somebody that can like manipulate people's minds, maybe like,
like blackmails in some regard.
Exactly.
Like Zemo as a completely powerless person in Civil War can kick the Avengers' ass, dude. Like he won.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean,
the
plan he set in motion was the only thing he lost at was not being able to kill himself at the end of it all.
Yeah,
which is like something he wanted to do. It seemed like. And
then also Emily Van Camp is back as Sharon Carter.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which
what?
That I don't know how like they had to do something with that character because people have already caught on that they sort of wrote her out in the movies.
Yeah.
But
which is like, I mean, it's a strange character to introduce and then write out.
Yeah.
And then bring back. Well, I mean, Well, I wonder what, like, maybe is she just gonna be like their liaison to Shield
I
or
think
some
so,
shit?
something like that. Which Shield's gone. I think maybe with the like U.S. government or something like that.
That's the other thing.
Maybe
Shield. I'm so confused by like by Shield and all this. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I think when it all makes sense to me now when Fury was talking about call at the end of Infinity War and Fury disappears, like call headquarters, code red.
Yeah.
He was actually referring to the Skrulls from Far From Home.
That's
remember
what
at the ship.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Oh fuck. That makes sense though.
And that's why he had the pager with Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel's probably out there.
Oh shit. That totally makes sense.
We'll get to talk to Far From Home very soon. Far From Home very soon. So then one last very, very small tidbit of news. Along with Angelina Jolie and Keanu Reeves, apparently Millie Bobby Brown is getting cast in Eternals.
Yeah, I just read that this morning. Which is awesome. It sounds like
she's a fantastic actress.
She is. She's
one of the best child actors to come out of cinema in recent history.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that she's starting to like just show up in more. She's definitely out of the Stranger Things cast. She's definitely the one that I think is going to transition to the big screen.
Yeah, I think she's one of the strongest. There's the Wolfhard kid who's like a rock star.
I think he's just using Stranger Things as a means to an end, and that kid's just going to like.
I actually listen to some of his music, and it's not bad. Yeah, it's like very Weezer-esque rock.
Yeah, and people eat it up.
People eat that shit up. But I mean, like, I like that casting.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I like that casting a lot. I think that movie's gonna be great.
Well, yeah,
even though Eternals is sort of a weird concept.
Eternals is like the Eternals movie is like it's like a stretch in my mind to like all of a sudden go for.
Yeah,
you know.
But then they need to keep ramping it up and keeping people interested.
Well, they do. They need to keep ramping it up, which is obviously I think why they're trying to grab as many big names for that project as possible. Because
because notoriety's gone for Eternals. There is no notoriety. Nobody's gonna be like, dude, there's an Eternals movie coming out.
Like nobody's waiting in line.
What the fuck
for the Eternals movie?
No, that movie with Angelina Jolie, Keanu Reeves, and the girl from Stranger Things is gonna be coming out.
Exactly. I guarantee you, those are the three faces that are going to be on the fucking posters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And I mean,
and Salma Hayek if she actually gets. I heard that
too.
Was, like,
hey, she's good.
She is.
We need to get our dude for that though.
Balance that shit out.
Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is a fucking legend.
Keanu could handle it. They could just do like multiple different
Keanus.
Reeves
they can do the short Keanu meme. Have you seen that? It's so funny.
God bless Keanu.
But Marvel they made Guardians work. Mm-hmm. They've made Stranger Things work. On that note, let's transition to our next topic.
Stranger
Things season 3. I finished. You're halfway through, so we're gonna be spoiling through the end of episode 4.
Yeah, this definitely starts off wild. The Russians get roped into it right away.
Ruskies.
Those Ruskies. There's like Russian scientists reopening the fucking portal.
Which immediately after seeing that, I was like, motherfucker. Yeah, this is truly the Cold War because everyone's fucking dumb.
Yeah, there's like nothing sacred. They're like, so it's like, you know.
Shit.
Like, fuck it. That thing almost destroyed everybody. Well, let's see if we can harness it.
We will use it. We will use it on the capitalists.
Dude, it's so fucking wild. And then there's also, so they immediately introduced evil Russians and
Arnold Schwarzenegger ripoff.
Yeah, like I was like this Dolph Lundgren, this brunette Dolph Lundgren who beats fucking Harper's ass.
Yeah, he fucks him up.
Dude, like I was like watching that. Okay, we'll get back to that. But
yeah, we'll get back to that.
So it kind of like that first episode does a really good job of establishing what year you're in, like where you're at with these kids. Yeah, and
because there's been a lot of change. It's been almost 2 years since the last season, and I think they're going real time on this.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're really trying to keep with like the actual progression of the fucking actors.
And the kids are aging. It's more and more noticeable.
Will stands out.
Will stands out
the most.
Dude,
to me.
Finn Wolfhard, Mike. Yeah. Holy shit.
The kid went through a growth spurt.
He, I was like seeing pictures from the first season. Mm-hmm. He was a child.
Oh, totally.
Now he looks like he could pass as like a 20-year-old.
Yeah. Like, you get that kid a fake ID, he can get into a bar.
Absolutely.
No joke.
Yeah.
But, that's one of the things that they definitely, like, is a theme throughout this series is the times are changing. Like they're not the kids they used to be.
Yeah, and you can see that, and it's something that I was immediately able to sympathize with, and you probably were able to as well. Yeah. You see Dustin and Will are being completely left behind as Lucas and Mike mature.
Yeah. Like, and that happens, man. Like, everybody's been through it growing up.
Everybody has a different phase. It's just people growing apart's a natural thing.
Yeah, and so it's just, but they play it really well.
It's so
because
believable.
You know how tight that group is from the first 2 seasons. And you know how tight.
It's also made abundantly clear how painful it is for some of them.
Yeah, and like for not having seen like hardly any of this cast in anything else.
Yeah. Like
they do like they're good. Like
they should be.
They really own.
They should be. Much more prolific than they are, in my opinion.
I agree.
But then like the kid who plays Lucas, Caleb McLaughlin, and the kid who plays Dustin, Gaten Mazzarato,
they're both a Hot Wings episode with. Or
there's the Hot Ones, the Truth or Dab version
Truth
of
or Dab,
Hot Ones with them. That was actually really funny.
Yeah,
they check it out. They're both Broadway kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Caleb McLaughlin, that's right. He was young Simba in the Lion King musical, and Gaten was he was the kid in he was the kid from Les Miserables.
Yeah,
for like 5 years. These kids they have some like really like indie star power, you know.
And I think most of them except for fucking 11, Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown. I think outside
with that name,
from her,
surprisingly British.
I think she's just gonna be probably the only one that really like goes on to pursue.
Maybe the rest of them end up being like TV actors.
Yeah, or like probably do more stage work.
Yeah.
But either way, so you're established where you're at. They reintroduce, or not reintroduce. They bring back the main. What's his fucking name? Billy. They bring back Billy is
Billy's the lifeguard.
Is
trying to fuck Mike's mom.
Yeah, he's out there like being eye candy for all the fucking moms in town. But he is also like the main focus, at least for like the first half of the season.
I will say he does remain prolific through the entire series.
Yeah.
And I will also say I was thoroughly impressed with his acting chops, especially in the latter half.
Yeah.
And I watched some interviews with him. He's really trying to convey like bipolar disorder, his performance.
Yeah, well,
you're supposed, when you look at him, I think you finished, the last episode you saw was the sauna experiment.
Maybe.
Which is where they like trap him. They like trap him in the sauna.
Oh, yeah.
And there's this scene in that I rewatched.
That was actually a really incredible scene.
It was
like
fucking
that whole
awesome.
thing.
When he grabs Levin's hair and he looks over at Max, and you can see he looks terrified of what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then he just starts strangling 11.
Yeah.
Which is a brutal scene.
Fucking intense, dude. I was like, oh my god. But what killed me about that whole thing was that like there are 4 other people in that room and none of them are doing anything to make a move on this guy.
Except for Mike. Who hits him with the fucking bar.
Yeah, which at least Mike did something though, dude. Like, I mean, like you're watching your fucking friend get strangled by this.
I can't blame him for not doing anything because the dude just overpowered 11's mind powers in that scene.
Yeah, but like
I was like shit.
What do you like? What if they just went extreme with that and they just like he just snapped 11's neck and then the rest of the season was like them trying to figure out how to deal with all this shit because they don't have their telepathic friend anymore.
Yeah, which I that vibe of not having to rely on 11 is something that I really like.
Yeah,
and I think that they could elaborate even more on.
Well, I mean, yeah, they definitely like
because 11's sort of like the Jesus symbol of like it's like fucking Superman at the end of Justice League back to DC.
Oh, totally.
Like they would be fucked without him.
Anything goes wrong, just call in 11.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I really like how they set up the beginning of the season because like the first 2 or 3 episodes, not much happens. Like it's a very slow burn. I think it's less so than previous seasons. Like in the third episode, it's where 11 finds that Billy kidnapped the girl. Yeah. And her and Max start looking around.
Yeah, they start sniffing around and things start picking up from there.
Yeah. I love the like body snatchers vibe.
Oh my god, dude.
It's so cool.
There's that shot though, when you kind of find out like the like how long this may have been going on and how like far this whole like invasion is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's after he brings that girl's parents to get like eaten or whatever by that monster. But
we're
then,
like, it's like chest bursters.
I don't even fucking it's like oh my god, and that whole sequence when the thing like whatever that thing is like attached to their faces and was
it's like pumping.
What the fuck?
They're and the rats exploding was like
So do you think? I mean, like, is it like it's like a creature that's kind of getting like it's slowly becoming like an actual being by taking like fleshy matter from these things?
Yeah.
Is that basically it?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. That's which is so fucking wild, dude. That's a really cool concept.
It is a really cool concept. It's very like The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much up that like grotesque vibe.
It's really playing well on like it's nodding to like a handful of different sci-fi like staples, really.
Yeah.
So okay, if I'm at like I'm going home and I'm watching episode 5.
Yeah.
Like
5 is a really, really fucking good episode.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I would definitely say like this is one of the strongest seasons. It's on par with the first one. Nice. The second one gets a bit of shit from people, but in my opinion, it's because it came after something that was so good.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's just people trying to fucking find shit to say.
Yeah,
like, they're like, oh, this
like,
whole series.
The first season was phenomenal.
Yes.
The second season was better than 90% of TV.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't as good as the first, so it's not going to be held to such a high regard.
Exactly.
It's like the analogy. A movie franchise I love, the Creed movies. Mm-hmm. The first one was so fucking good. The second one was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as good as the first one.
Not on as.
So people were like, "This is garbage. This is shit." It's like it has an 89% in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
God damn it! It's still a good movie. It's still like a better than average movie.
Yeah. It's just people are always trying to compare everything like that. And
I mean, like, if
you just take them for their individual like merits.
If there's a fair comparison to make, it is 2 seasons of the same show. Yeah. It's the fairest comparison you can make. But when people walk around saying the second season's hot garbage, I completely disagree.
Absolutely wrong.
But the third one is so strong, and they do take it. You're not even there yet. That sauna scene is a sign of things to come because it gets fucking dark. And they're using these kids' newfound maturity as a means of making it pretty eerie, pretty dark.
Interesting.
And something also worth noting: the deal with so the groups that have been established in the show at this point.
Oh yeah.
But I love the pairings of this season.
Okay.
Where they have like Steve and Robin. Yep. Robin, who is Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter.
I thought I read that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So
she's awesome. She's a standout character.
She's one of my favorite parts of this season. Yeah. She becomes better and better. I'm excited for her in future seasons.
Nice.
Spoiler: she doesn't fucking die. How stupid would they be to kill Uma Thurman's daughter in her first season?
Dude.
No, but her, Steve, Erica, the little girl, and Dustin. Yep. Fucking gold.
Oh man,
that's a great group, and they keep going.
Yeah, Erica, bringing her in, what has just been like just comedy gold.
She has such good comedic timing for a kid.
She really does. It's surprising.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then we have the other kids are in a group themselves.
Yeah, basically all the other kids.
All the other kids, and then Hopper and Joyce, which the intro to the next episode is Hopper and Joyce gold.
Oh yeah,
you'll fucking love it.
Nice.
Yeah, the season's been fantastic. You're only halfway through, and how do you feel about it so far?
Oh man, again, like you were saying, I just think it's better than the second season so far for me, but that's not knocking the second season. I like the pace of it because it's a little quicker, but it's still got that kind of like it takes its time with the points it needs to. Yeah. It's been fucking awesome.
You can sort of see what's coming, but it's letting you figure it out as you go.
And I just want to make a note. The only reason I haven't finished it is because I started watching with other people. All right.
You made that critical mistake.
Yeah. And I'm a man of my word, though. Okay, I will fucking watch. I will not binge a show without the people I agree to binge it with.
You're a good man. You're a better man than I am. I didn't do it this time, but I have been guilty of that in the past.
Dude, it happens.
No shame.
All right.
So,
But, yeah, I'm probably gonna finish it by the end of this. By probably next week, by the time we record again.
oh yeah.
So we got about like 5 more minutes on this. I don't want to cut Stranger Things short, but I do want to talk about Far From Home.
We'll talk about Stranger Things more in a future episode.
Yeah. So I want to touch on it. I saw it just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It blew my fucking balls off.
It's such a good movie.
It was so well done.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like such a nice Spider-Man movie. It was like a refreshing Spider-Man movie because it was an actual cool Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Homecoming was a good movie, but this is a better movie.
Yeah.
It improves on, I think, all the problems that Homecoming had.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's not that initial. They didn't have to get that initial like, here's the new Spider-Man. Here's the new like Spider-Man like kind of vibe.
Here's Hot Aunt May.
It's already there. You got it.
Yeah,
and Hot Aunt May is back though, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
You got John
Hot Aunt May
Favreau.
looked hotter in this movie.
How old is
Dude,
Marissa Tomei?
She's 54.
Holy
That's
shit.
a fine ass 54-year-old woman.
Her and Charlize Theron. Goddamn.
Like fine marinara.
slow roasted.
Anyways. But okay, so let me ask you about, in terms of like villain compared to the Vulture. How did you like Mysterio versus the Vulture?
I think Mysterio's better.
Wait,
Vulture's
yeah.
still fucking good.
Still good.
Like the Vulture, I like how all it's Spider-Man dealing with Tony Stark's fuck ups are both these villains.
Yeah.
And like the Mysterio, I feel like the only reason he's better is because of how Jake Gyllenhaal portrays him.
Absolutely.
I feel like he had a bit more to work
a lot
with.
to that whole fucking movie.
The first half of the film when Mysterio's a good guy,
Mm-hmm.
shocking turn of events. If you're listening to this, you're probably a comic book fan and you know Mysterio was a bad guy from the get-go.
Yeah. That's the thing, dude. It was, again, like one of those moments, if anybody walked into that movie thinking that Mysterio was going to be a good guy by the end of it, you're just a dummy.
Hey,
I'm
I watched it opening day.
Yeah.
And there was somebody behind me who audibly gasped.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Wait, these movies.
Oh my god.
These movies have such a larger audience though than
just
the
comic
comics.
geeks,
So
dude.
I'm not surprised.
It's so true.
But I love how he is sort of like weirdly perfect the first half, and it's like this dude's like, for us knowing what was coming.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, this guy's like he's really like bumping up the charisma.
Yeah.
He is portraying himself as a Tony Stark-esque.
Totally.
Good-spirited man.
Like, I could be the person that fills those shoes.
Yeah, but then he very quickly afterwards becomes this like fast-talking jackass.
That transition goes hard, dude. Like,
and he very obviously is exploiting Spider-Man's anxieties
oh yeah,
from the get-go.
yeah.
Even when he has this like poise and charisma, it's all ruse.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking well done.
It is. So when the point in the film where so you see this in the trailers, all that shit. Spider-Man gets Tony Stark's glasses.
Yeah.
It gives him Edith.
Yeah.
Edith.
Even in death, I'm the hero.
The hero or something like that. Just so arrogant, which is so perfect.
Sorry. Which also, note about Edith. We might run this a few minutes long. That's
Yeah.
probably cool. Note about Edith. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers were probably Tony Stark versus Steve Rogers here. Steve Rogers was definitely not okay with the satellite Tony Stark had in space that had killer drones on it.
Definitely not.
Definitely didn't tell him about that after Civil War.
Well, I mean, that was actually kind of a big shocker, like how big the operation was that got handed to Spider-Man. Like I assumed like Tony Stark was giving him access to some things, but not his whole security
and
grid.
like arsenal.
Like
But then that was even because of
power.
Mysterio. Mysterio even like gives a shout out to the girl who orchestrated Spider-Man getting the glasses.
Yeah, actually, that's really true.
Yeah.
Like, it was all so well played by
Mysterio and his gang.
Yeah.
Which
gang of angry IT nerds.
Yeah, I love it. The dude from Iron Man 1, the Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Oh, that was
dude.
that's actually a really good impression. But like it was like they called back the most random ass character
who was getting yelled at by Jeff Bridges by the arc reactor in the middle of Stark HQ, and he shows back up. That's the kid from A Christmas Story.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's a producer on the films.
Fuck.
He's a producer on the Marvel films.
Oh my god.
His name's right next to Kevin Feige's, and it was a cameo in that first one.
You've made it, my friend.
I know.
That's fucking incredible. Okay, so the kid from A Christmas Story grows up, hates Tony Stark,
Same continuity, actually.
Oh my, that'd be so funny. Same universe.
He
So they grow up. So Mysterio's not working alone, and that's actually something you have to point out right away.
Yeah.
When you think about like this, like what he pulls off. In
But
this
it
movie.
works so well.
So well.
And I love how like after number one, after he gets ousted as the bad guy, that sequence where he's projecting the images for Spider-Man and like Spider-Man's running around like the fucking creepy shit that Mysterio's projecting. He gets chased around by an Iron Man zombie.
Dude, that was creepy.
I was like, holy shit.
Which was a nod also to Marvel Zombies.
That's
the way
what I
that
immediately thought.
The helmet was designed. And
Yeah.
stuff. It was just so cool. Again, that was again one of those like beautiful Marvel movie things. They just randomly slide in these nods to like
something that will very obviously never happen in the MCU.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. That'd be so fucking weird if they tried to make a Marvel MCU zombie thing.
Phase 20.
Phase 20. Kevin Feige's ghost is still making movies, dude.
He handed it off to his son or some shit. RDJ's making them at that point.
Edith. Man.
Which also, it's something that should be noted is that people are worshiping Tony Stark as if he is a biblical figure at this point.
Which I'm wondering if that's going to be like a kind of rippling thing throughout some of these Marvel movies that we see popping up. He's hailed as the person that saved the world. Like everybody,
he gave up his life for half of everyone.
It's not just like the superhero community being like, who's going to be the next Iron Man? It's like the world.
Everyone.
And that's the thing about this like plot is that the world is asking that question.
And I love how like even at the beginning you can see how anxious it makes Spider-Man because he's getting questions. He's like, "Are you the next Spider-Man?" Yeah. He's getting interviewed. Everybody's like, "Are you going to lead the Avengers?" And he's like, "I gotta go." Like,
yeah. He's
he's a kid.
Exactly. He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's a line that he has in the movie where just to paraphrase it, but he's just seriously like I just didn't think I would have to save the world like on my summer break. Like, and that's that's a very legitimate like teenage thought.
Yeah.
Like I'm on my summer break. I'm chasing a girl. I don't want to like.
I want to be a kid.
I want to be a fucking kid.
Yeah, exactly.
So they really nail that aspect.
Who can't empathize with him?
They really nail that aspect.
Which that's like the quintessential Spider-Man thing. Mm-hmm. I want to be normal, but I can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wish I could live that normal life, but my superhero identity is putting a strain on all that.
Another random shout out I remember. So there's a whole scene where he's packing, and Aunt May's really pressured, like just like makes us like comment like, hey, don't forget your suit, and he like weighs the options as to whether or not to take his spider suit.
Yeah.
And the suitcase he's packing is actually like it says like BFP or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like Ben Parker's.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool sign, like a little nod.
So let's throw it out there. A few more things. Last sequence in the film with Spider-Man using his spider sense to fight Mysterio in the hallway.
Peter Tingle?
The Peter Tingle, I love that. Yeah. That was such a cool scene. I also love how Mysterio's entire last like setup, he's in the mocap suit with the fucking fishball head.
Dude, it was so wild.
But it worked.
It worked. It was a nice modern like look for Mysterio. The every time that he used his fucking drones or whatever to just fuck with Peter's senses, like it actually looked really well done.
Yeah.
And when the whole sequence where Peter was fighting using his Peter Tingle was just like
badass.
Yeah, it was just badass, and it was so cool seeing him use that. It's like it would be like seeing Batman actually use some detective skills in a fucking movie.
Hopefully that comes.
But,
and then another thing worth noting. Also, okay, at the end of that scene, when Mysterio's actually behind him with a gun to his head, and he reaches back and grabs it before he can shoot him.
So fucking badass.
So cool,
dude. It was so.
Let's quickly hit post-credit scenes. J. Jonah Jameson.
God, dude.
There was a round of applause,
dude,
when J.K. Simmons showed up as J. Jonah Jameson.
That was the most popular scene in the entire movie in the theater.
Fuck yeah!
I loved it, dude.
It was so great.
And you're right, though. I think you mentioned this to me. He looked exactly like Commissioner Gordon going through. I was like, they probably shot that on set.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever. So
no, but it was so beautiful, dude. And so that gets me like thinking.
What a great cliffhanger for a film.
What
are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? Like, can they bring in
Mephisto? They're bringing in Mephisto. One more day,
dude. One more day. No, I hear. So, in all seriousness, though, where they're taking the Spider-Man, I hear that they're doing They're gonna be doing 3 phases with Spider-Man himself, where it's like high school, college, and adult life.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland has signed on to do 9 films of Spider-Man.
Shit.
So that dude's making his money. He ain't going anywhere. He's got that Marvel money plugging in. All in all, like
everybody knows who he is.
Just
that's where the film leaves us.
Yeah,
it cuts off with him going, "What the fuck?"
That scene, man, ending it with that where the world gets told Peter Parker is fucking Spider-Man and that he's a fucking bad guy.
Yeah,
that he just killed the world's new Iron Man.
It's him versus the city, which is a setup for a lot of Spider-Man comics that are really cool.
Yep, and I bet that's gonna be a huge thing in this next movie. I hear that they're really toying with the idea of potentially making Kraven the Hunter the next Spider-Man villain.
Damn!
I love that fucking so bad. So cool.
Also, last thing with Spider-Man Far From Home, Nick Fury and Marie Hill being fucking stupid throughout the plot of that movie is because it was Talos and his wife the whole time.
Yeah, and that raises so many questions.
Confirmed though, they have been switching for an extended period of time.
Just off and on?
Off and on.
Oh,
so, like,
cool.
the real Nick Fury has been in a handful of movies.
Yeah,
but, like,
he was there at the end of Endgame is what I read.
Yes, and that like, the Nick Fury from, sparsely throughout the MCU, maybe it explains Fury's big week.
Okay.
That there was another Nick Fury running around in the form of Talos.
Yeah, actually that totally explains that. Actually.
Yeah.
So that's why he's able to kind of accomplish what he did that week.
So, and then Nick Fury's out in space, which explains the whole deal with Captain Marvel at the end of him calling HQ Code Red, all that sort of stuff. He's out with the Skrulls in deep space.
They really do a good job. Spider-Man started off as the outlier to the MCU because it was that Sony character that got brought back over. And now they did a really fantastic job of plugging Spider-Man into the MCU.
Yeah,
as like an essential franchise that needs to be paid attention to. Exactly. Like, no longer is Iron Man the namesake. Spider-Man, they were joking, like, the theme of the movie, who's the next Iron Man, was the theme of this movie overall. What's the next Iron Man franchise?
Yeah.
It's the Spider-Man movies.
Yep.
And that's exactly where they're headed with this. Tom Holland's fucking perfect, just like RDJ was.
He's going to grow up in the role, and he's going to grow with it.
Exactly.
I'm excited.
It's going to be awesome.
Worth noting, I'm starting my music podcast now as well. It's going to be called In Tune.
Nice.
I'll be putting that up every once in a while. I'm reviewing the first album the Black Keys have put out in 5 years, Let's Rock. Been listening to it this week quite a bit. Just recorded a podcast on it. Once I'm done editing it, we'll be putting it up on the channel.
Hell yeah.
Be looking for it.
So pay attention. We got new shows coming. We got things cooking.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with some more Matinee Edition.
Woo-wee!
Remember, sponsored by Earth Aqua.
Earth Aqua. Drink some agua.
Drink some aqua over ice.
Ooh.